I made $3,000 today at 16 years old with my online coaching business, and I've been in entrepreneurship for around 2 years. Throughout these 2 years, I've tried so many different things, I've failed so many different businesses, and throughout these 2 years, I've also connected with a lot of young entrepreneurs like myself. I've connected with 19-year-old guys making 150K a month, 18-year-old guys making 50K a month, all from their phones. And by connecting with people like this, I've also noticed so many different patterns between all of them, including myself, that really just showcase the mindset and the psychology behind each entrepreneur and the way that they operate to be able to actually build their businesses and scale like they are. So in this video, I'm not even going to have a long introduction. I'm really just going to share what I have personally noticed within my own character development as I went through this journey of business, and also what I've noticed in other entrepreneurs who have found massive success with theirs. First things first, the one thing that I've noticed within a lot of these entrepreneurs is that these are really just normal people. I'm personally not even anything special. I'm a normal girl who still lives in her hometown that's just building a business from her desk with her computer and going out of her way to do what it takes. And for example, I was talking to this one 19-year-old guy making 150K a month. When I was on a call with him, this guy wasn't a big mafia, a dude with a Rolex or whatever. He was genuinely just such a chill guy that just made it work because he refused to do anything but work towards his dreams. You don't need to be anybody special to actually make things work in life. You just need to be that one person who refuses to follow anything that contradicts with their dreams. It's all about understanding what decisions gets you closer towards your dreams and what decisions brings you further from them. And as an entrepreneur, the one thing that I've noticed between all of them is that they always pick and choose the decision to actually pursue their goals even closer. So I know for a fact that whenever I'm doing something throughout my day, whatever it is that I do, I always think to myself, is this decision that I'm making, or is this action that I'm taking going to bring me closer to my goals, or is it going to pull me further? Because if you are just in the middle, if you don't really know what you're doing, you just end up stagnating, and you're going to end up making great decisions that are going to keep you stuck. Now, the second thing that I've noticed within a lot of these entrepreneurs, and especially myself, is that they are so overly confident yet so humble. And this is a pretty funny thing to say because I noticed, for example, that when I mentioned in this video that I make $3,000 today at 16 years old, I wholeheartedly believe that that is nowhere near my fullest potential. And I humble myself in knowing that I am nowhere near my fullest potential. So I need to keep working no matter what, because I truly do not think that is the best of my capabilities. But on the other hand, when somebody comes along the way and this person is somebody who is not in the position that I want to be with, is somebody who doesn't take care of themselves, and they're trying to tell me what I need to do with my life, I just feel this urge of not wanting to listen to them. I truly operate within this logic of understanding if somebody comes to me and they try to give me advice on what to do with my life, I genuinely look at them and analyze who they are as a person and if this is somebody worth listening to. And that's the kind of balance that you need within entrepreneurship. It's being so overly confident in knowing that you are in a position that nobody else is in. You are in a position of high status. You are abundant. You are working through all of these different things. And if somebody comes your way who tries to humble you, you will not let them humble you. It's kind of a funny characteristic that a lot of entrepreneurs have, but the only person who is able to humble themselves is themselves and somebody who is actually in a higher position than them. And it doesn't even matter if it's your parents, your grandparents, your teachers, your boss. If you are an entrepreneur, you're making something work for yourself, and you know you're doing whatever it takes to actually make something work, you need to have that alter ego that keeps you confident in knowing you are going to make this work no matter what. But you also need that side of yourself that keeps yourself humble, because you don't want to have a massive ego to eventually crumble you down. You need to find that good balance between being overly confident in your own capabilities, being confident in who you are as a person, being confident in your work, and being able to humble yourself and knowing that you are nowhere near where you want to be. So the one quote that I like to personally use for myself whenever I'm like achieving something throughout my days, or even in whatever position that I'm in as an entrepreneur, I like to refer back to this quote, which basically states, "I'm far from the rest, but I'm nowhere near my best. And that truly demonstrates the balance that you need as an entrepreneur between being overly confident and being humble yourself. I have genuinely had people come up to me telling me, why aren't you going to uni? You should be going to uni. You should be getting a good education and a good job. You should be making friends in uni. You should be living the college life. And I genuinely sit there, analyze who they are as a person. And if I determine that this person is obviously not in the position that I want to be in, if they're not a high status entrepreneur, if they're simply not in a position that I want to be in, there is no reason for me to listen to them or take their advice because it clearly hasn't worked out. And in that moment, when I come to the conclusion that this person is obviously not worth listening to, anything that they tell me will go through one ear and out of the other. That's the kind of ego that you need to have as an entrepreneur because it keeps your status to where you know your worth. You need to be able to establish your value and be confident in yourself, but also keeping yourself humble at times when it's truly necessary. Now, the third thing that I've noticed about entrepreneurs and the way that they operate, and this is more about the way that they actually approach things in terms of business instead of just like psychologically, the difference between entrepreneurs and 9 to 5 employees who stay stuck for 30 years working a job that they hate is the fact that employees work directly for money. They directly do the task and the labor that's required for them to get money. But entrepreneurs, on the other hand, they don't work for money. They work for systems that generate money automatically. Just like how, for example, if you're going to program an AI, you're going to program an AI because you don't want to do the task directly. So you need to be able to learn how to systemize the AI so that it can give you even better results. And it's the same thing with entrepreneurship. And throughout that process, you're going to need to accept and you're going to need to delay the gratification of not getting paid because you're just focused on building your brand, building the right systems so that it can eventually actually bring you the money that's needed. And I remember when I first got into entrepreneurship, I kind of followed the same concept where I was basically working an online job with the lowest pay ever because I was just so addicted to the dopamine of getting paid that I didn't realize I didn't have any systems in place and I was just doing the work itself to actually get the money instead of building systems that would generate me the money. I was editing 15 videos a day for my content agency for probably like $10. I was stuck in that loop for months before I eventually realized the importance of actually building systems that are going to bring you the leads, that are going to bring you the attention, that are going to bring you the connections and the opportunities. So there's obviously that balance in terms of entrepreneurship between working smart and working hard. Because when you are working smart, you need to systemize the right things the right way. You need to follow the right framework so that you can actually build that sustainable income, right? But that can't be done if you don't actually put in the work. And it's the same thing the other way around, right? Like you could be putting in the hardest work ever, but if you don't systemize it the right way, either way, you're not going to get paid that well. And honestly, overall, from what I've noticed throughout these 2 years, and especially within my own character growth, is that this journey of entrepreneurship is not even just about picking the right business model and making money, signing clients, getting paid, da 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 da, but it's genuinely a spiritual and a personal development journey that comes down to how you grow as an entrepreneur and as an individual. One of my favorite quotes that I've been following my whole life, and that's going to prove the end of this video, throughout this journey of entrepreneurship, it's not even about picking the right business model and it's not about doing the hardest work ever, but it's more about becoming the person who's able to actually achieve the things that you want. And so one of the main things that I noticed with entrepreneurs, and the last point of this video, is the fact that entrepreneurs don't even focus on picking the right business model, but they focus on becoming the person who's able to get what they want. I remember back then when I was lazy, I was not going to the gym, I was unhealthy, I didn't have the right mindset, I was just focused on things that I shouldn't have been focused on. That version of myself would have not been able to build a business that's able to grow the way that it is now. And that's because I not only focus on putting in the work, but I focus on taking care of myself as a person and becoming the best CEO that I can be. It's really a personal development journey. And if you can focus on developing your mindset and tapping into the thought patterns of an entrepreneur, that's when you can truly start operating as an entrepreneur and bring in results like an entrepreneur. entrepreneur. And this video is exactly what runs you through that point. So if you want to get to that, make sure that you apply all these different things that I mentioned, because it took me a long time to actually notice a lot of these things. And I'm glad that now I'm just able to share it online so that I can document not only my journey, but also educate others along the way as I keep growing with my personal development and throughout this journey that I'm going to keep pursuing. But anyways, I hope you got lots of value from this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, then just subscribe. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one.